Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to another episode of Trout Spankings. On today's episode, I will be showing you how I like to work a pencil popper at the Cape Cod Canal. Now, there's no right or wrong way to work a pencil popper. I just feel that this is the most effective method of fishing a pencil popper in my experience. Just to give you a quick idea of how most people work a pencil popper, I see a lot of guys, they're peeling in line and they're shaking the rod. And they catch fish like that. But I also find that a lot of times when you're working it really fast like that, skipping it over the surface, you get a lot of missed hits. I think a lot of times the bass are trying to track the lure, and when it's skipping like that, they're having trouble finding it. The way I like to work it, it's moving much slower and it's staying in the same spot for a lot longer. I basically like to walk the dog, but there's a little bit more to it than that. I'll show you when we get down to the canal. Another thing I'm going to show you is a lot of times when you're using a topwater, when it gets close to shore, I've noticed a lot of times when I go to pull the lure out of the water, a bass will come up and try to smash it. So what I try to do is keep that action working right up until the plug is right in front of my feet, because a lot of times they will hit right in front of your feet. I'll show you how to keep that continuous action going all the way up until it gets to your feet. Now, typically, if you're going to use this method, you don't want to have a bunch of people close unless they're using the same method, because otherwise they'll be waiting 10 years for you to finish your cast, or it's a mess. If you're going to use this method, you either have to have somebody fishing with you who's using the same method, or you got to be fishing away from people. I'll show you how I like to work a pencil popper, and I'll show you how most people work a pencil popper. Like I said, there's no wrong way to do it, and the other method will catch fish, but there's also been days where I've had guys around me shaking their rods, and they're not catching anything. And I'm throwing it out there, walking the dog slowly, and I'm catching fish. I feel like, for me at least, it's a more effective method. It keeps the pencil popper above the striper's head longer, keeps it in strike range longer, and it works the plug slower so that they have time to keep up to it too. But yeah, that's about it. So I'll see you down at the canal. Alright, well, just my luck, as soon as I show up to the canal, it starts downpouring. I don't mind fishing in the rain, I actually like it, but it's pissing out. Hard. I'm not trying to get soaked down in these socks. So, I don't know. I'm gonna sit here for a little bit and wait it out and see what happens. I know one thing, if I go home and it stops, if I sit here for 4 hours and it downpours the whole time, and then I go home and the rain stops, Mother Nature doesn't want me to fish the canal for the rest of the year, so I won't be doing it. This is like the third time in a row this has happened, where I came to the canal and it started pissing out when I got here. Like I said, don't mind fishing in the rain, but I'm not gonna sit in a downpour to catch one little schoolie. Plus, it's gonna be kind of hard for you guys to see what I'm trying to show you if it's pouring buckets, so. Once again, the weatherman was wrong. If you don't like the weather in New England, just wait 5 minutes and all that good stuff. Maybe I'll see you in a few, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Alright guys, so first I'm going to start off showing you how most people throw the plug, and then I'm going to show you how I like to throw the plug. I forgot my chest mount, so hopefully you can see what the hell's going on. Oh crap, what did I hit? Okay, maybe I should move down this way so I don't send my rod flying in the canal. I don't want to send my backup flying. I already did that yesterday, trout fishing. Okay, now most people, you're gonna see reeling it in really fast and shaking the rod like this, skipping that plug right across the top of the water, just like that. And this will catch fish. Heck, wouldn't be surprised if one hit it right now, but this is not how I prefer to work it. Okay, now I'll do it again the way most people do it. Reeling in while shaking the rod tip. And they'll keep their hand up pretty high on the rod like this most of the time, but yeah, that's how people usually, I mean, some people work it even faster and it's got less side to side action, but that's not how I like to work. This is how I like to work it. I'm gonna walk the dog. Okay, now I'm not even gonna reel in. I'm just gonna let it go with the current, and I'm gonna give it slow and steady side to side jerking motions, and that's going to work that plug slow and keep it in the water column above any potential fish longer than the other method will. Now I'm using a smaller plug than I usually do, so it's a little tougher to do. But now if I lower my rod tip when it gets close and slow down or speed up the action, I can keep that walking motion going all the way up pretty much right to my feet for the most part anyways. And then if you want, you can let it sit there for a few seconds before you pull it out of the water. Yeah, that's how I likes to do it. I will keep throwing it like that. Might have to throw the bigger one on just to give a better demonstration. Let's see, I'm just steadily twitching the rod tip. I'm not shaking it. I'm just walking the dog like you would walking a Zara spook for bass, you know. Now the current's not moving very fast, so I can kind of reel in while I'm doing this, but typically if the current's moving fast, I'm not gonna reel in at all. I'm just gonna twitch the rod tip like this and let that plug move with the current. Of course, it starts raining as soon as we get going here. I'll let it sit there for a few seconds and start working it. I decided to go with a smaller pencil popper because I just feel like a smaller bait is more likely to get bit this time of year. And you can kind of speed it up and slow it down a little bit, but I'm not skipping it across the water. I'm walking the dog. See, now it's getting into a rip where the current's moving faster, so I'm not even reeling in. I'm just letting it go with the current. Probably not a good time of year for topwater fishing, but that's the way I like to work the pencil popper. Not skipping it, nothing too erratic, just walking the dog back and forth with the current. And I got bait fish checking it out or something. Now I am reeling in a little bit while I'm retrieving this, but that's only because there's not much current. If there was more current, I would be able to just let it sit out there where it is and twitch the rod without reeling in at all, and it would swing its way back into shore, and then I'd start retrieving it quicker just to make sure it doesn't get stuck in the rocks, but you get the idea. I lower my rod tip when it gets closer to me and move the rod tip a little quicker, and I can still keep that dog walking motion going right up until it's in front of me. Then I might just let it sit there, hope that something comes up and smashes it in front of me. You never know. Lower the rod tip, start to speed up the retrieve a little bit. And that's good too, because if you speed up the retrieve when the lure's getting closer to shore, it makes it look like the bait's fleeing to try to get away from the fish, so there's a chance that you might get a reaction strike. All right guys, I gotta put something else on. I don't want to get skunked. I showed you how I work the plug. If I see breaking fish, I'll throw it again, but for right now, I need to see if there's anything on bottom. I mean, if the fish are 35 feet underneath the surface, they're not gonna come up and hit a top water. So, gotta see if they're down there, and if not, then I'll move to another spot. Probably back on the other side of the canal. Ooh, what the heck? Hey, look at that, I caught something. No idea what the hell something is, but I caught something. All you salty boys, let me know in the comments what the hell kind of fish that is. Cool looking little duder. It's probably one of them chogies, choggies, chodies. I don't know what the heck they are called. Should keep them on and use them for bait. All right, little chody, go get eaten. Yeah, he's sitting on a rock. That's what you get for trying to eat a lure that's twice as big as you. All right, folks, well, the fish ain't biting down at the canal, and I don't like getting skunked, so I think we're gonna fish here for a little while. It's a good place to fish. I've had a couple of good days here, catching some decent little schoolies. The place has some nostalgic value to it as well. I used to work at that gas station right over there when I was like 18. Maxi Gas. Maxi Pad. I mean, it's the only job I ever worked where I got robbed by a crackhead with a tire iron, so, I don't know. Kind of a sweet little nostalgic place. Good times in Wareham. Brings back memories. It's a good little fishing spot, so I'm gonna try to spank some stripers. Gotta catch something. Probably come back down tomorrow and fish the canal in the morning when we have a better chance of actually catching something, but I can't promise we'll catch anything on the pencil popper, but we showed you how I like to work it, so that's the main idea of the video. Anyways, I'm rambling. Let's spank some stripers. I'll give it a whack. If there's nothing here, the canal is like 20 feet away, so I can go continue there. Ooh, something just took a swipe at it. It was a striper. Okay, got one. Well, that's a weird fight. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Should have been there, you'd have known that. All right, cool deal. Little tiny dude. I knew I saw fish coming up and swiping at the jerkbait. Well, it's better than getting skunked. I wanted to do a canal video, but if I can catch dinks here, I'll take it. See ya. Okay, got another one. Feels like it could be a little bit better, but I don't know, it's hard to tell. He is fighting with the current, so he's got a little bit of help. Yeah, he is a little bit bigger, but not by much. Yeah. Not bad. All right, not terrible. Little dude, but still fun. Oh, he went under the dock. Oh, got another one. Yep. That was a weird, weird fight, I guess, because he wasn't hooked very good. Yeah, third hookup in a relatively short amount of time. So it's a good sign. That one was definitely a little bit bigger than the other two, not by much, but they're getting bigger. Just wanted to show you guys all the bait real quick. There is a lot of them. They're kind of the same color as the lure I'm using too, and a few of them are close to the size of the jerkbait. Jerkbait's bigger than most of them, but I think the stripers will still eat it. We'll see. We will see. Another little dinker. Still pretty cool though. Better than getting skunked. All right, cool deal. Another little small one. Dang. Strong for a little dude. Probably got him hooked funny. Got him hooked just barely. All right, folks, down here for day 2. Fished yesterday afternoon for about an hour and a half in the rain. Didn't have any luck except for a tiny little chogy bait fish. Went to another spot, caught a couple of schoolie stripers before the sun went down, and now we're back out here in the morning for day 2. I just saw a guy over on the pier over there landing decent little schoolie while I was walking up. He landed it on a jig, so I'm gonna throw a jig at first. I know the point of this video is to show you how I work a topwater plug, but you can kind of apply the same logic to a jig when you're jigging the bottom, so I'll show you that. All right, let's get into it. I'm throwing a jig right now because a guy over there caught a schoolie on a jig when I was walking up, so try to start off catching something at least, and then I'll throw on a topwater. Show you guys how I like to work the pencil pooper again. And what the heck is that down there? Oh, got something. I was bouncing that jig right along the bottom. I wasn't even reeling in, I was just letting it swing with the current, and I hooked up. So you can kind of apply the same method with the pencil popper with the jig. You just let it swing in towards shore with the current. Damn, this is a big fish. I don't know what the heck it is. It might be a bluefish. Could be a blue. It's fighting like a bluefish. Getting some head shakes. Oh, it's a striper. Okay. It's not a bad little striper. Got him on the jig. Cool deal. First striper out of the canal in a while. It's a decent sized schoolie too. Not bad. Get him back in the water. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. If you want to know when I post a new video, make that stupid little bell go ding-a-ling. So came out here to the canal, showed you guys my top secret to catching stripers on top water. Not really top secret, just my preferred method. There's a couple different ways you can do it. I just find that most effective. Showed you guys that. Didn't catch any stripers on the pencil popper. Went to another little spot, caught a couple of little dinks on a jerk bait. Came out the next morning, saw some guy catch one on a jig, so I threw a jig and we caught one on a jig. Didn't really accomplish what we set out to do, but we showed you how I like to work the pencil popper. Showed you how I like to work the jig too. I mean, you can kind of apply the same logic to a jig when you're fishing on the bottom that you can to working a pencil popper on the top. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Keep on spanking them.